The psychology of Gen X. Let's check it out.
You know what's strange? We talk endlessly about boomers and millennials. We dissect Gen Z like they're some kind of fascinating new species. But there's this entire generation that just exists in the middle, barely mentioned, almost invisible. Generation X. Born roughly between 1965 and
70. So
1980, they're your
that's like my
older
mom.
coworkers who never complain, your parents who seem oddly detached sometimes,
They do,
the
you
people
know.
who built the internet but don't post about their breakfast. And here's what nobody tells you. Their psychology is probably the most misunderstood of any living generation. They were the first generation
I feel like that's not true. Like I don't from
of
like I feel like they have some of the most basic like
latchkey kids
commonsensical kind of
on a massive
mentalities.
scale. Picture this. It's
Maybe not like just
1978, you're 8
hi,
years
I'm
old, and you come
normal.
home to an empty house because both your parents are working. No smartphone, no ring cameras, no way for anyone to check if you're okay. You let yourself in, make yourself a snack, do your homework alone, and wait. A study published in the American Journal of Orthopsychiatry
Wait. What do you
found
do
that
while you're waiting?
by 1984, approximately
Like stare at the
7 million
wall?
children between ages 5 and 13 were regularly unsupervised after school. That's an entire generation learning that you can't always count on someone being there. That empty house did more than make them self-reliant. It drilled in the idea that actions have real consequences, ones you can't talk your way out of. When their parents finally showed up, you always knew where you
Wouldn't that make you? I guess. Like I feel like when you think about that, you might think that might make you worse of a kid, like
stood.
being unsupervised and home alone all the time.
The
But
rules hit hard and
like you'd kind of have to learn how to do
fast.
stuff yourself. Like mommy ain't gonna be home to make you a meal after school. You got to figure that out. She's not getting home till 8. She got to pay
Nobody
the
cared about
bills.
how you felt or wanted to talk about it. Step out of line and you paid for it, right then and there. Psychologically, this created what researchers call a high contingency environment, where actions and outcomes were directly linked without buffer time. Your brain learned to predict consequences in real time, which is why Gen X tends to think 3 steps ahead in ways that baffle younger generations. Gen X grew up watching their parents talk a big game about stability
Bro, that honestly is so true.
and turn
Like
around and rack up divorce rates through the
if
70s
you, I don't know if you
and
guys watch like streamers. Oh my god! But sometimes I'll see, and like these kids are my age, dude. I'm just it freaking makes me mad. Like they don't know how to do laundry or something, or someone will just do the most basic thing, like like wash a dish, and then I don't know, and then they'll just be like, oh, why didn't I think of
80s.
that? Because you're
They saw
stupid.
people give their all to
That's
companies
why.
only to get pink slips when the next round of layoffs hit. Everyone told them, work hard, follow the rules, and life will work out. But then the rules just changed right in front of them. So yeah,
Like I was watching a streamer the other day. Okay, like he took I kid you not like 10 minutes to peel a potato with a potato peeler. It was just in this guy's like
psychologists might call it defensive
he's like what
pessimism,
older than
but
me,
Gen
but
X, they just call it
which is
being
crazy. It's like,
realistic.
bro, you can't peel a potato. And then the kids my like 22,
It's not that
even
they're
worse.
cynical exactly, it's more like they built up this emotional armor. They cross their fingers for good things, but deep down, they expect the rug to get pulled out, because honestly, that's what kept happening. And that's a big reason you barely hear them on social media. They grew up in a time when privacy
Hope for the best, prepare for the
was just
worst.
normal. When you messed up as a kid, maybe a handful of people knew, and that was that. No phones, no viral videos, just some awkward memories in a basement or a parking lot. The idea of blasting your life out for strangers to see, that doesn't feel exciting to them. It feels risky. It's not about
Oh my
not
god, you know
getting
what I hate?
tapping early on that
You
the
know what I
less
hate
people
is
know
like
about you, the safer.
when dude, I'll see videos of people like I'm like scared to go to the store sometimes because like I'll just see videos when I'm scrolling of anybody will just put on a pair of meta glasses now and just record their interactions with people and post it on social media without that person knowing they're being filmed, right? So like I'll just be going into the store to get some cookies and someone might come up to me and start talking to me and like little do I know they're putting me on social media, like people. It's like I see videos where like it's the title is just like day 7 of fixing my social anxiety.
Excuse me? I just wanted to say that I really like your outfit. Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, she does. Have a good one.
Going outside and just having conversations with people and recording it, like sneakily, God, that annoys me.
You are.
It's like just do. You don't have to record every single thing, bro.
Gen X basically turned irony into a shield. Crack a joke, keep things at arm's
least try to
length,
make it
laugh it off before
cool.
it stings. You can see exactly where that comes from. They grew up in the shadow of the Cold War when teachers talked about nuclear war like it was just another rainy day.
That's facts.
Duck and cover drills in school as if a desk would save anyone. When adults act like everything's about to go up in smoke but also insist you shouldn't worry, you get used to holding two clashing ideas at once, and you learn to keep a little distance, just in case. But here's what's fascinating. Despite all this, Gen X developed a distinctive approach to work that stands out even today. They don't talk about it, they don't post about it, they just do it. This work ethic was forged early through jobs that seem almost archaic now. Paper routes at 5 in the morning, bagging groceries, working fast food registers where you had to calculate change in your head when the machine broke. These weren't
True, but they also didn't have social media. Like, you couldn't film your work. It wasn't a thing. And if you could, you might have, because it could have been profitable. Like, people that are doctors, like, film certain parts of their days, or people that are, and this is like what I said, like, I kind of hate it. Like, you'll just have cashiers will film their interactions, right? Like, but I kind of love those videos. Like, the gas station employees that will, like, do tricks with the customers or have little things, or just film their interactions with customers. Sometimes it's kind of funny, but, like, if you could, you might have. It's just because it wasn't
resume builders. They were raw introductions to the adult world where a 12-year-old could be responsible for delivering.
Because I see, trust me, I see some Gen Xers posting cooking videos and just doing their day-to-day life, and
news to an entire neighborhood. They watched their parents' generation get destroyed by corporate restructuring, so they never believed in company loyalty, but they're fiercely loyal to their own competence. They can't control whether they'll get laid off, but they can control whether they're the most valuable person in the room when layoffs happen.
I see so many like Gen X men just posting videos of them fixing stuff. It's just like, okay.
There's this weird paradox at the core of Gen X psychology. They're simultaneously the most independent generation and the most quietly collaborative. They'll never ask for help, figure it out themselves. Been doing that since they were 8. But if
okay, I was with this video, but now I feel like he's just glazing Gen X.
You need help?
He's definitely Gen X.
Show up without drama, without a social media post about it. This comes from forming
and he hates social media. That's what I'm picking up.
Tight bonds with friends out of necessity when parents were absent. And let's talk about their relationship with authority, because it's
this video was made to pander to Gen X, so they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, you're right, dude, we're the best.
Complicated. They respect competence, not titles. If you've earned your position through actual skill, they'll follow you anywhere. If you're just someone with a fancy job title who doesn't know what they're doing, they have zero patience. Gen X questions authority because they watched incompetent authority figures make terrible.
That is something I will give Gen X, bro. That, like, my generation just seems to lack completely entirely. They'll just blindly trust anybody. Oh, yeah, he has a lot of followers. Whereas, like, oh man, I don't even want to get into it, but y'all know, 2020, bro, like, people just believe whatever, like, and I'm not saying everything's fake, but, like, ask why do they want you to believe that? Why do they want you to watch this video? Why is this video blowing up? Why this one? Why are they talking about this in the news when there's all this going on? Why is this the thing that's the main topic? Okay, yeah, I guess, but, like, when you think about everything else, why is that the one that they're focusing on? I like that Gen X kind of takes the extra step to do that. Like, why?
Terrible decisions their entire
Why this?
Your childhood, from Watergate to Iran-Contra to the fumbled AIDS crisis. They faced serious economic headwinds that their parents' generation hadn't experienced. The youngest Gen Xers graduated college right into the dot-com bubble burst. The oldest ones were hitting their stride when the 2008 financial crisis hit.
And the 2008. Wait.
If an
so y'all had, like, the Cold War.
Traumatized repeatedly,
oh my God.
Which is why they're more likely to have multiple income streams. Not because they're entrepreneurial.
What did we have? COVID?
Real by nature, but because
the 2012 world was going to end scare.
They've learned that nothing lasts. Gen X tends to struggle with what some researchers have identified as patterns of self-reliance that border on anxiety. They're incredibly capable at handling crisis situations, but that capability often comes from an unwillingness to depend on others. Research in the Journal of Adult Development shows that
The secret tool plumbers won't tell you about. Simple looking, but a game changer in tight spots. Perfect for the
Gen Xers report lower levels of seeking social support during stressful periods.
Dude, that is facts though, and I don't think that's like a great thing. But I know, yeah, like they're very closed off. Like I'll deal with it myself. Like
Not because they don't have people they could ask, but because asking feels like admitting defeat. This self-reliance
like asking for help, like they was not like seen as a good
extended to
thing.
how they processed information. Before the internet, knowledge had a different kind of weight. Gen X spent hours in libraries, hunting through card catalog drawers for a single book that might contain the answer they needed. Information had a physical cost. It required effort and time, and because of that, they valued what they learned differently. Cognitive psychologists describe this as deeper encoding, where information that requires effort to obtain becomes more permanently integrated into memory. They learn to fix things with their hands because that's what you did when your bike chain slipped or the TV flickered. You didn't
Well, yeah, isn't that thing the teachers say? They're like, write it down. I'm like, I don't need to write it down. I heard you. I remember it. And they're like, write it down. Just write it down because it's gonna do something in your brain. It's like,
call a technician. You flipped the bike
heard
upside
you.
down, got grease
No,
on
I
your
think that
hands,
does
and
help, though.
figured it out. This built a mechanical
typing it.
intuition,
Dude, but I had teachers that wouldn't even let you type. They're like, no typing. I want you to write it with your hands.
belief that with enough patience and a screwdriver, you could master the physical world. And now they're watching their kids grow up in a completely different world, one with helicopter parents and constant supervision and social media documenting everything. They gave their kids the attention they never had, but sometimes they worry they've made them too soft, too dependent, too visible, because in the Gen X worldview, being visible means being vulnerable. The truth is, Generation X might be the last generation that truly understands what it means to be
They'd be like the perfect generation to be assassins.
alone with your thoughts, to be bored, to solve problems without Googling the answer. They're not better than other generations, just different, shaped by a unique moment in history when the old world was dying and the new one hadn't quite been born. They're the bridge generation, and bridges don't get much attention. They're just there.
You know what? That's probably super weird. Like coming from a different world, but being in this whole world and seeing it, like, that's probably crazy. So you lived from 30 years post 2000. You were already 30. And now you've lived another 26 years in the modern world. Well, I guess modern 2010, I don't know, but like 2000 was pretty modern compared to 70s, right? Like
work, holding things together,
but I've realized a lot of Gen X, they like hate
expecting
us.
nothing in return. And maybe that's the
Like,
most
hate
Gen
us.
X thing of all, not caring if anyone notices.
Get the fuck about my phone with your hating ass. I'm the type to drop a 50 ball and make it back. All this swag I got is custom, you can't pay for that.